To Go Local Live, I'm Josh Fenton, CEO and co-founder. The sun is out, the weather is beautiful, the flash floods are over, and it's now time to go over to Mott and Chase. It is Wednesday, and let's talk to Kim Marion. She knows everything about this incredible collection of properties that have come on the market in just the past few days. I mean, it's really remarkable. Kim Marion, thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Josh. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. I want to start in the equestrian world. I feel like we're in Kentucky.
Yeah.
There are three spectacular equestrian properties, mega properties. I mean, really, I didn't even know you could fit these all in Rhode Island. Talk a little bit about them and talk about how is it that three of these sort of mega properties are all available at one time?
Isn't that interesting? And we didn't plan it, I can promise you. These three are all Mott and Chase Sotheby's exclusive listings, and they're magnificent. One in Westerly, 3.85 million. South Kingstown, 3.9 million. They're both 57, 59 acres respectively. And then one just over the line in Rehoboth, Mass with 100 acres. 4.25 million. You might think that we got together with the marketing department and said, let's launch these three mega horse properties at once, but we didn't. It just came together this way. Kind of good timing though. You get somebody looking at one, and it's nice that you can say, well, we have these other three, within our brokerage. It's nice. The one in Rehoboth is my listing actually, so I'm super pleased to tell you about it. And thank you, by the way, Go Local, for featuring all three of these properties. They are all exquisite.
Yeah, they're really remarkable. I mean, I was thinking about it, and I don't live in the equestrian world, but I was thinking about, gosh, we should build a horse track and maybe make it the quadruple, right?
Right.
I mean, it really is remarkable. I think it's sort of one of those things that we don't really pay that much attention to, but these are, over 200, combined over 200 acres of equestrian farms, and these are spectacular homes as well. We featured on one of them just an amazing pool property included in it. How does this equestrian world work? Are these mostly show horses that are competing in the New England and North Atlantic region? Is that sort of the game when you buy one of these properties?
So I suspect, and we'll have to see, I've been a horse person my whole life, so I'm really happy about these listings and the chance to promote one of them specifically. But I suspect we will end up with somebody who's part of the year in Wellington, and, somewhere in Florida, and then they're going to come here and ride all summer and compete in New England. We've done advertising in Equine Affair and a few other places that will definitely attract either an international person or someone that's on the circuit, just like you said, high level. It's very likely it won't be a family that just likes horses. It's going to be someone with really exquisite, trained, high-level animals, jumpers, dressage. It'll be fun to see how long. Horse farms can take a long time to sell, but I say that, and then I had one in Exeter just a few months ago that sold in 45 days. That was 1.4 million. So that was a really nice farm too.
They're so beautiful. I'm contemplating getting a horse. Just remarkable.
Talk to me first.
So let's talk about another property. I mean, it was just an amazing collection of properties that have come onto the market. The second was a lighthouse in Bristol, Rhode Island that Mott and Chase has the listing for. We posted it, I think, on Sunday. It absolutely blew up. The photography was amazing. It's right near the Mount Hope Bridge. Then the other media followed us during the course of the week. It is an amazing lighthouse property. Talk a little bit about it and what the future of it is.
So it's a really interesting property, super rare that you could buy a lighthouse and have your single family home attached to that. And it is really right under the Mount Hope Bridge. So it's an interesting view that you never see. The architecture of the bridge, really interesting. And then, of course, incredible water access and views. I think it's really fun that in 1929, the property sold for $2,050. And then in 1999, it sold for $469. So it had updates and it was brought up. And now we have it listed in 2022 for what, $750. Yeah. I don't think it will last on the market people say it's a hot minute. I think it's going to be gone in a hot minute because it's so unique, and the opportunity to own a piece of history like that, it's fascinating. There are numerous articles online if someone listening is interested in looking at the history of 7 Old Ferry Road.
Yeah, we pulled some of the history from one of the Lighthouse publications, and it's really, really remarkable. It goes to show it was built because there was a huge need for it. There had been a number of boats crashing into those rocks right there. So really, really remarkable.
Retired now. The lighthouse is retired now.
Yeah, the lighthouse is retired, right. And then the last one that really leapt out that people really connected to is Preserve RI, which is a nonprofit, had restored this really remarkable home built in the 1600s in Rhode Island, transformed it. Now it's sort of this interesting collage of sort of exterior, remarkable history, interior. Well, everything's been preserved. It's also been updated, and it is bright and white and just a remarkable transformation for this property.
Yep, 1147 Great Road. It's a stone ender house. It was absolutely worth going to Preserve RI. There are 3 or 4 videos there all about the house and the process and the renovation. I think it's really interesting that it's so contemporary inside, and I'm curious. I'm going to ask people as I see them, what do you think about it? I was in the middle. As super beautiful inside, completely renovated, and I was surprised it was so contemporary, in contrast with this, I think 1639. I read that there were only 14 stone ender homes in Rhode Island, and they literally have one end of the house that is completely built of stone. It looks beautiful. I haven't seen it in person yet, but I hope I get the chance to. Fascinating property. Preserve RI website has these videos that are really worth watching.
It really speaks to the dynamic variety of homes that are offered in Rhode Island. You go to certain sections of the country, Florida, and every home seems to look like every other home in certain areas of that. We're talking about 100-acre horse farms, a lighthouse, and a 1600 stone ender home. And that's not counting, just a variety of colonials and modern homes and everything else in between. Is that part of sort of the uniqueness of the Rhode Island real estate market? And is it in part that we're getting discovered for having this variety and driving so many out-of-staters wanting to move here?
Yeah, it's so interesting you say that. Over the last couple of years, I think we have been discovered. Rhode Island's always the ocean state. We're known for having incredible beaches. But as people came here looking for new housing to change the way that they live and work, they realized they can come to Rhode Island. There's such a diverse architecture because of our history and also the ocean. And also you can be in New York in a minute. You can be to Boston in a minute. You can be in Little Compton for the afternoon, come to Providence. There's so much contemporary architecture in Providence, surprisingly, even though you're surrounded by vintage homes. And then, the waterfront, the lighthouse is incredibly unique. We have a lot of vintage properties. 1639 is exceptionally old, and this one is highlighted because of the effort that Preserve RI went into to renovate. Being a nonprofit, they had to get funding and really put that together. It's a terrific project. But I think you nailed it. People have come here not just for vacation. They've come here saying, look at Providence. It's an adorable, walkable, high-end city. This is a great state.
Yeah, there was a famous disparaging column in the Wall Street Journal in the 1980s that I think described Rhode Island as a speck along the highway on the way to Cape Cod. And
I feel that hurts a little.
Yeah. I think we've come a long way because the out-of-state buyers continue to flood in and continue to, as the rest of the country is seeing great instability lack of stability in the real estate market, we're holding strong, and the prices are holding strong, and the demand is holding strong.
I'm glad you said that. It's absolutely true. And think about just Waterfire alone. These kind of events bring people out from South County, from the far edges, if it's really not, but into the city. It's a beautiful city. I think there was a moment when interest rates came up to that 5.5 and 6, kind of where we are now, where the brakes, I heard the brakes, like, oh my gosh, the market's slowing. And then people thought about it for a minute and they looked at the history of interest rates and they just realized this is still a really good time to buy and sell. I have not been slow for other than, that moment where people were a little unsure. We're still getting properties in the city, if they're priced right and everywhere, are selling quickly. Josh, it is amazing, this market and the desire for people to be in Rhode Island. It's hard to get a rental that is affordable. It's actually a real challenge, but the market is very strong still, in spite of the rise in rates that it looks like we're hearing they may go up again. Still, I don't see a slowdown that I thought would happen.
Kim, you're representing the seller in the Rehoboth equestrian farm, and that's on the market for what number?
4.295.
4.295, and the Lighthouse is also Mott and Chase. That's at 750,000. Could you do a package deal somewhere around 4.5 million maybe, and throw it all in a Happy Meal with a toy?
With a toy for you, we can talk about it.
Kim, Marion, you are spectacular. Thank you so much for joining us. A remarkable collection of properties now on the market in Rhode Island and nearby Massachusetts. Take a look at all the coverage on Go Local. And for everybody else, enjoy this great weather. No flash floods today. And also, if you haven't gotten a booster shot, do it. Governor McKee just got COVID. He's bouncing back. He had 2 booster shots, didn't miss a beat. Thanks, everybody. Stay tuned.